Mr. Secretary, Madeleine Dean, Suburban Philadelphia. Thank you for being here. I want to read the very first sentence of your written testimony, which you have submitted. The mission of the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, is to enhance and protect the health and well-being of the American people. And we are here to analyze the 2026 budget request, as the chairman points out, but I also want to take a look at what the ranking member has taken a look at, which is the cuts going on right now to that which has already been appropriated. We have to really keep a clear line here between what's your proposal for 26 and what is going on right now against the legislation that we have passed and that has been signed into law. I have to tell you that I'm more interested in substance than slogans. I'm getting a little lost in the MAGA, the MAHA, now there's AHA. I don't know where we're going with this. I want to talk about the substance. And in this case, something very personal to me is the issue of addiction and mental health. And I know what you care deeply about these issues. I know you have been honest about your own recovery, your own struggle with addiction. In my family, my middle son, Harry, is now 12 and a half years in recovery from opioid addiction. It was a long road. It was a hard road. In active addiction, you know how difficult it is, and it's difficult to bring a family member back. I give Harry great credit. He now works in the area of addiction. That's why I'm very, very worried about what is going on with SAMHSA. If you take a look at the data, the numbers, we were getting somewhere. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were losing 110,000 people a year to overdose. That's 300 people a day. I call that a jetliner a day of souls crashing to this country. Just last year, the second half of 23 and the first half of 24, 12 months, that number went down 27% to 81,000 deaths of overdose. Don't let me minimize 81,000 deaths. That's still 220 people a day. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, 365 days a year. But a 27% reduction in overdose deaths in this country, overdose is still stealing a generation in this country. So why in God's name are we shuttering SAMHSA?
We are not shuttering SAMHSA, and I share your concerns, and I'm anxious to work with you on this problem. I'm fully committed to it. Because of my own history, I lost a brother to overdose. I lost one of my nieces during the pandemic to overdose. Like every family in this country has somebody that was lost. As you point out, we were losing, I think, 3 years ago, 106,000 American kids. It's double the number that we lost during the 20-year Vietnam War. And we ought to be applying the same resources.
Why the cuts to SAMHSA, and why are you shifting?
We are not shuttering SAMHSA. We are still running 500 addiction centers.
You've already cut SAMHSA, and the budget proposal is to shutter it and shift it to an AHA program, which I don't know what AHA means.
To shift it to the Administration for Healthy America. We're shifting a lot of the chronic disease programs out of CDC into a center that will address chronic
And you and I
disease.
agree that addiction is overdose is a public health epidemic in this country.
Yes.
Then why would we, when we are finally seeing some success, bury that success, put it in an AHA program, which, by the way, logically doesn't make any sense. We have to now rehire people and figure out what their roles will be within AHA. Why wouldn't we analyze the data that shows we just saved 20+ thousand lives in the course of 1 year? This matters in my district. I have buried way too many kids to overdose, to fentanyl poisoning, by the way. You don't have to be an addict. You can just be poisoned by fentanyl. Why in God's name this administration wants to shutter it? We know that, and shift it into AHA. Why would you do that?
They don't want to shutter. What we want to do is we want to shift that function into a place where we're going to be able to administrate it more efficiently, and that's all.
What analysis was done? Can you show us the study that led you to the decision, shutter SAMHSA, shift it, we call that shift and shaft in my old days as an appropriator in Pennsylvania, shift it over here, throw it in a block grant program, and good luck. What's the analysis that you did that said, Whatever SAMHSA was doing with harm reduction, by the way, with making naloxone available, with training for naloxone, I literally carry this with me every day. I want to normalize the life-saving capacity of naloxone, and you guys want to bury it in AHA.
Oh, we want to provide naloxone, Narcan. We want to make sure that addicts have
you're-
every option,
You're eliminating the training for that.
Suboxone to methadone and to
Medicated
12-step programs to inpatient, outpatient.
You're
We run
zeroing
500
them out.
we run 500 addiction centers. We're not going to stop doing that. My agency will still do it.
Are you
Shifting
looking at,
it's shifting to a subdivision where we can operate it more efficiently with other chronic diseases.
but do you realize that,
EDC is going to do infectious disease, which is why we created it. It had mission creep, and it was operating with
mission creep as it was saving lives?
mission
Mr.
creep.
Secretary, I beg of you, talk to these families. You know these families. You are these families. Help us save more lives. Don't shift it and shaft it.
Mr. Clyde.